Hey everybody. Y'all thought we were gone.
Yes, but we are back.
Back.
We back for a very special episode. We miss y'all. We hope you missed us. At least I know I miss y'all. So, Lakeisha, what's been going on with you lately? How you
No-
been?
Nothing much cuz but work, and more work, spending time with family and friends and all that good stuff. How about yourself?
The the same. I'm just getting ready to just my last week of work before we get out for the holiday break. Cause
Whoop,
we
whoop,
out for
mine too.
get out for 2 weeks. So I'm happy for that, because this break is needed for me.
Well
Okay.
needed, well deserved.
Well needed and well deserved.
Yes.
Okay. But before we go ahead and get into this episode, allow us to reintroduce ourselves. I am your girl, Shnequia, aka S.
And I am your girl Lakeisha, aka L.
And together we make insightful conversations with S and L. And if you're watching this right now, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Just do all that. So make sure that you all are in the know of whenever we drop episodes. Okay. And also, if you are an audio podcast person, you can follow us on all major audio podcast platforms. All right.
Correct.
Did I miss anything, Lakeisha?
As well as YouTube. So for those of you all, if you're more like me, I'm more of a YouTuber, more so love to watch videos and things of that nature. We also have a YouTube page as well. So come on over to YouTube and join us as well. We appreciate it.
Yeah. And we'll make sure to reiterate that again at the end of the episode. So that
Yes.
way, that way you'll know, because you can never have too many reminders about that. Okay. So do we want to go ahead and get started now that we got all the
Let's
housekeeping
get
items?
started, cuz.
Okay, so for all of our any new viewers and listeners that we have, or returning visitors and listeners and viewers, we like to start off our episodes with what we call buzzworthy topics. So,
Yes.
Lakeisha, anything been buzzworthy in your week?
I mean, it's been a lot that's been going down over the past couple of weeks. I think one of the most noteworthy topics that you and I discussed prior to today's taping. For those of you all that have not been following the news, or if you're not millennials like Shnequia and I, this individual we grew up watching, and it's just really just been a blessing just to see his evolution over the years and see him grow his brand and give back to the community and things of that nature. If you do not know who we are talking about, him and his family suffered a very, very dear loss on this weekend. So we wanted to send our condolences to Nick Cannon, the creator and founder of Wild and Out, and things like that. Anything you want to add, about that
Sure.
particular topic,
Yeah,
Shaniquia?
I do, and I like how you said the creator and founder of all of Wild and Out, but
Mhm.
also I first, was introduced to him through, remember that show All That back in the
Yeah,
90s?
yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah, and did you know that he has a talk show now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So yeah, but I'm glad that you brought that up, because I actually, whenever I can, I tune in to his talk show. And I happened to see the episode of his talk show where he basically announced
Yeah.
his son had died, because I think it was his son was 5 months old, named Zen,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken, and died basically of a form of brain cancer.
Yes.
And I don't have a child, so I don't know what it's like to lose a child. But of course, no parent should ever have to, lose their
Yeah.
child, bury their child. So I know that is a tremendous, loss, and something really major to be grieving. So I just, like you said, I just want to just throw, out my condolences and my prayers to him and his family, as well as his baby mothers of his child. I think her name's Alyssa. Just kind of throw that out there and just letting them know that they're definitely in my thoughts and definitely in my prayers. And that same episode where he talked about his son dying, he had his personal therapist on the episode, as well as another guy who was like an author, and they talked about grief. And I thought that was a very good episode because they really broke down like stages of grief
Yep.
and things like that, and about losing particularly a child,
Yeah.
and also about just losing someone so close to the holiday season.
Most definitely.
And just to kind of shameless plug to throw it out there, we actually did do an episode back in season 1 about grief. And I do remember we talked a lot about the same things that they talked about. So definitely just want to keep him in prayers and in my
Oh,
thoughts. Yeah.
yes, 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 yes.
Yeah. And I just want to say something too, because I was reading a lot of comments online about him announcing the death of his son, and a lot of people, well, not that many people, but there were a few that were saying something like that he was doing this for attention, and they don't feel like how he was able to come to work so soon after the death of his son. And I'm just kind of like, well, I hate when people do that because grief looks different for everyone.
Most
Okay.
definitely.
And some people, keeping busy helps them, you know what I'm saying, to kind of deal with their grief. And I don't think we should be judging anybody on what they do and how they grieve and everything like that. To me, I just thought it was very insensitive, some of those comments that I had saw, because you just don't know.
Yeah,
And you don't know what you may do if you're in that same situation.
exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so
Until you walk down the road that he has walked down, you're absolutely right. You don't know necessarily how you two would deal with something like
right,
that. And then, too, just even going back to, I just think back to even just gender,
right,
when it comes to how women, how we deal, uh, with issues and situation and matters versus a man. And so it did not for me when I saw the clip on YouTube, when he talked about, about him getting back into, his grind and how it's been helping him um, to deal with his grief. It did not shock me. I was not upset about it. I wasn't, uh, put aback about it because, like I said, I know a lot of men who probably would have done the same thing. I know men close to me who have suffered very similar losses to Nick Cannon. And they too have reacted in the same fashion and form. And so um, I don't see anything that's wrong with it. Like you stated, he is currently seeking out therapy. So it's not like he's trying to mask what he is going through. He's going through the steps that he feels is going to help him through this situation. And as his fans, all we can do, if you really are a fan like you say you are, is to support him and his family during this time, because we never ever know what's up that road for us and when we may need somebody or a shoulder to lean and cry on. So once again, Nick, we got your back. I know that God has great things in store, for you and your family, as you continue down this journey, down this leg. And I know that, there was another clip that I had seen a couple of days after that episode aired when he said he was just taken aback with regard to how much love and support his
yeah, I saw
fans
that
had
too.
actually been pouring out to both him and his family. So, as always, we know that there's going to be people that don't necessarily understand or say, hey, if it was me, I would have done things X, Y, and Z. At the end of the day, you're always going to have those people no matter what. They're going to stand,
Hmm.
by your side. And so I have no doubt that he has a support system that is fortified around him and his healing and his forward successes.
Hmm. Agreed. Agreed. So again, Nick, you're in our prayers and in our
In our
thoughts.
prayers.
Okay. So, and another buzzworthy moment and topic that I want to bring up is Megan Thee Stallion graduating from
Yes.
college. Um,
Congratulations,
yes,
Megan.
congratulations. I guess I should call her Megan the graduate now. Um, but yeah, I think that it's so dope that she basically kept her word, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
that was a goal of hers that, she was saying, like, I think ever since she got into the rap game, talking about, that she was in college and that she was going to graduate and things of that nature. And I love it. I
Yeah.
love when rappers actually rap about stuff that they're dealing with and
Yeah.
they own it. You know what I'm saying? So I love that. And I know she graduated, I believe it was Texas Southern University. I think that's the HBCU.
It
So
is.
big up to
It
all the
is.
HBCUs out there. And did you watch the clip that they showed of her actually walking across the stage? I saw it on the Shade Room.
I did not. Like I said, I was working all this weekend,
Okay.
so I did not catch the clip.
So I saw it and I thought it was so cool that she graduated with her class because you know how some people probably, especially someone of, her status, could have easily just, not attended the graduation, just like have my degree sent to me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But the fact that she actually wanted to participate in the commencement ceremony, walk with her class, basically just experience all the things you experience when you actually graduate and participate in a commencement ceremony. But when I watched the clip, like you could definitely tell that she had a lot of fans there watching her basically walk across the stage because the cheers were pouring for her. It was even one point, you know how they have like the people that give you the degree or whatever, or
Yeah.
it's not a degree, but you know that little thing,
Yeah.
the paper or whatever. So the professor, whoever he was, he had to make sure he got his selfie. And at the end with her, I guess he like, okay, I am with Megan Thee Stallion right now. You know what I'm saying? So let me go ahead and take this picture to commemorate this moment, okay?
Yeah.
But I can't even get mad at him about that. But I just want to say congratulations to her,
Congratulations,
to the
Meg. She
hot
earned
girl.
her bachelor's of science in health degree. So good
Yes,
for her. Good for her.
yes, yes. So I know that had to be a really fun graduation ceremony.
Yeah. Oh, most
Yeah,
definitely. Most
yeah.
definitely.
And then I think you had brought up a good point when we were talking before we started recording. You were talking about how that might have been like for the other people who, just the regular people who were there.
Yeah,
Like,
because graduations are they're a once in a lifetime opportunity.
right.
It's not like you necessarily get a do-over in a sense. And so I'm pretty sure with all the fans that she did have that were supporting her, whether they were friends, they were family, they were just fans in general. I know a lot of times at graduations, and Shnequia, graduations that we've been in attendance at,
Yeah.
especially I think back like to high school when we graduated from
Mm-hmm.
high, they were really big about noise levels and just making sure out of respect that each graduate's family heard, their child's name being mentioned and things like that. So that was like I'm like, I wonder how uh, it felt. Did somebody's name kind of get lost out there, in the wind with all the screaming, the yelling, and the hollering and things of that nature. But I'm pretty sure, it all worked out.
Well,
Stuff in the
I will say, unless they edited the clip, but the clip that they did show on the Shade Room, they focused specifically on Megan, you know what I'm saying, doing her, going across the stage. And then afterwards, I think they waited till all, her applause had died down. And then I think they went to the next person. At least that's how it looked. So I
Okay.
think, and I'm pretty sure that they knew ahead of time, probably to expect that. So, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
So kudos to the hot girl for graduating. Okay. So anything else? I mean, we know it's a lot been going on, but
Nothing else at the present moment.
okay. Well, we can go ahead and then get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. So y'all already know that this is the holiday season coming up. And the holiday season can bring about a lot of different emotions, feelings, thoughts, whatever have you. So we thought it would be just a good idea to do an episode about the holidays. Okay, something called the holidays and all that jazz. Okay, so how do we want to start off this conversation? Want to talk about what we do
Let's
for the
talk about
holidays?
what we do in our particular family, our particular neck of the woods when it comes to this time of the season.
Okay, so what you normally do for the holidays?
For me, one of our big family traditions, from the time that I can remember, this probably took place even, when I was a baby. We've always spent Christmas Day with my father's side of the family. More in particularly, my grandmother. She's asked for nothing more, nothing less than us, then to each year, as her grandkids, if we can, to gather at her house in Thomasville. And, she cooks a big meal. And, for those who know her, she's known as the pound cake lady around Thomasville. And so she cooks all these, variety of different cakes and things of that nature. And I remember when I was younger, once, the food had been put up, everything had been cleared out, then we all go into the living room, and then usually one of the older cousins plays Santa Claus. And then, you pass out the different gifts under the tree to our loved ones, and so on and so forth. And like I said, we've been doing this for years. I think I've only missed one Christmas that I wasn't able to spend with my grandmother, and that was the time that my mom actually relocated to Orlando. And I reached out to my grandmother, let her know beforehand. She gave me my blessing. She told me that I was making the right decision and I was doing the right thing. And although that she was going to miss me being there, I needed to also be with my mother. And so, like I said, that is the only time I have ever missed spending a Christmas um, at my granny. Um, and so I look forward to seeing her. I look forward to seeing, of course, my dad, my brother, my uncles, my cousins, and things of that nature. And of course, the spread. I mean, it's a spread for days. Um, and so yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Of course, it has changed over the years, and not just because of the pandemic that we're in. My grandmother a couple of years ago was diagnosed with dementia. And so although she's still doing, for the most part, she's doing good. But she has not cooked dinner in the last several years. My aunt has actually picked up that task and taken over, and she does as good as a job as my grandmother with the food and with the baking and things of that nature. And then my grandmother is still there to give her take, so she'll let thumbs up, it's good. And then she may be throwing some shade, to the side if she don't think that your food is on point. And so,
I love
and,
it.
and so
Shaded in, shaded in.
shade it is, shade it is. And so, like I said, even though she is, now suffering with, the early stages of dementia, just any time that we get the opportunity to spend yet another Christmas with her, to me, it's something I don't take lightly. Because we just never know if we're going to have her around for the next holiday season. And so we will all be gathering over my aunt's house this year, and I am looking forward to loving on my granny and talking to my granny, and all that good stuff. And her, like I said, giving the approval of whether the food meets her standards, or hey, we got to go back to the chopping block with this. So how about you, cuz? What type of traditions in your family do you all usually do during this holiday season?
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to say, that sounds like so great. The fact that you just have like just a big family like that, and y'all just do all that fun stuff and eat all that good food and stuff like that. And I wish I could meet your grandma one day.
Yes.
Awesome, because she seemed like my type of lady. But but anyway, with me, like I don't really have a big family, so my holidays are pretty much just spent with the immediate family. With my parents,
Right.
especially now, with my brother gone. But anyway, typically what we do is, I always go home, and I spend Christmas with them. I usually try to come home maybe the day before Christmas Eve or Christmas Eve, something like that. And we just kind of spend time like watching Christmas movies because this time of year, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, you know,
Yes.
they have the Christmas movies on lock.
That
And
they do.
let me just say, like, and even though it be the same plot in pretty much every movie, it's always some lady who's basically like, very high status, dating some guy, you know what I'm saying, that's really not on her level, but somehow the Christmas spirit bring them together. Am I lying, Keisha? Or am I lying?
You're not.
And
You're
they
not.
bring them together, and then they fall madly, deeply, and passionate in love, and then they get married. And like, oh, this is what the holiday season is all about. So, I mean, I eat it up every holiday season. Okay, I be like,
Yes.
I already know what this plot gonna be, but I still watch it because
Still
that's my
watch
business. I'm
it.
gonna do it. So,
Exactly.
so anyway, so we watch, the holiday movies, and then we also have our, traditional holiday movies that we like to watch, like Home Alone, the first one and the second one,
Yes.
and a lot of the animated Christmas movies like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and
Yeah.
Frosty the Snowman and Charlie Brown Christmas and the Grinch, and my mom's
Yeah.
personal favorite, she loves the Polar Express, even though I can't get into that movie, honestly. And I tell my mama that all the time, I'm like, why are we watching this? But she loves that. I'm sorry, I just don't. It
Oh
don't
my
do it.
gosh.
But it
Gotcha.
might be somebody else's cup of tea because obviously it's
Yeah.
my mom.
Yeah.
But so anyway, just do that, and then Christmas Day, just listen to Christmas music and whatnot. And then, open our gifts and, eat or whatever, like whether or not we cook a meal or if we, order something in advance.
Yeah.
Like last year we did like a seafood boil, like order like crab legs and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And that was different for us because we never had that for Christmas. We would normally have, like kind of like the traditional Christmas
Yeah.
meal,
The soul
or
food.
or a few years we would like go out to
Okay.
eat for Christmas for because there were some restaurants that were still open
Yeah.
back at home, so we would go there and things like that and just really enjoy each other and
Mm.
have fun. And I think I just want to kind of throw out there that a lot of times, you don't necessarily have to have like a big family or
Exactly.
to be able to really enjoy the holiday season, because I think a lot of times people feel that way, and I know I used to
Yeah.
growing
Me
up,
too.
because I would be a little bit not necessarily saying envious, but just kind of wishing that I could be, part of that like big family and stuff like that, to where, we all can sit around and open Christmas gifts and, drink hot chocolate and eggnog and all this stuff like that. But I'm just like, I'm fine with my family.
Yeah.
That's what works for me.
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot to mention too, I'm sure we're gonna do this again this year. Last year we had started where we wore like pajamas on
Yeah.
Christmas and took like the pictures, that everybody be
Oh,
doing
everybody takes.
on
Yeah.
social media. So we may do that again. With
Yeah.
new pajamas, of course, not the same one. But
Yeah. Another thing that we do with our family, I forgot to mention, usually once dinner is over and done with, before the games, I mean, before we start passing out gifts, something that we started in recent years is doing, I don't know if you've heard of the game called like the Right Family.
no, I haven't.
So it's not the white elephant game, but there are gifts involved. So basically, in my aunt, every year there's a different game that we play. But I started playing this game with my students as well. So basically, there's a story that you read. Of course, it's Christmas related. Everybody basically gets a bag, a little handbag. And of course, there's gifts. There's a gift in that bag. And it doesn't have to be nothing like extravagant or things of that nature. But as you're reading the story, your goal, you have to follow the directions. So sometimes it's going to tell you, Mr. Right went right back to the store, and then he left. So then you have to pass your gift to the left or the right, depending upon where those directions fall in the store. And of course, at the end, whatever bag you are left with at that point, it's your present, and you can get to open it and show everybody, and things of that nature. But it's a fun story. You can actually find variations of the Wright family Christmas story across the internet. So for those of you all that may be interested in playing that game with your families, and like I said, my aunt, she purchased, little probably bags from the dollar store, and it probably had in there for females, like some hand sanitizer, like stuff
Mm-hmm.
that you probably buy from like Bath and Body Works. There may be like a little small journal in there with a pen. And then she made bags specific for the men in our family and things of that nature. But it was such a neat little game, and you get people laughing and people are smiling, and that type of thing. And just when you think the game is over, then here comes another direction that you gotta change your bag, because as you move in these bags, some of these bags are kind of weighty. So you're like, ooh, this a this feels like a real expensive gift
Right.
compared to the bag that I just passed off. So that's another tradition that we've started within our family. My aunt, like I said, at some point, everybody always knows, get ready. Once dinner is done, she's cleaned up. There's gonna be a game before we start going through all of these presents. So that's another way for us to bond and engage with one another during this holiday season as well.
That's good. That's good. And so I think this might be a good time to talk about holiday etiquette. Okay,
Yes.
because I mean, like we said in the beginning, it's the holiday season,
Yeah.
and you got to be able to conduct yourself accordingly during the holiday season, like you would with anything else throughout the year. So, what would you say are like some just etiquette, some things to know, do's and don'ts,
Some
tips,
do's and
if you will? Yeah.
I would say one tip for the holidays, especially if someone has invited you to their place, and whether that's and I wouldn't necessarily say family, because we all know how our family operates. Some of us start on time, some of us, 4 o'clock gonna mean 5 o'clock, four may mean three. But let's just say, a coworker invited you to a holiday outing or a dinner, a close friend, that type of thing, and you're going to be around. There may be people there that but for a fact that the majority of the individuals at that outing, you don't necessarily know, or you have that type of relationship with. I would definitely encourage you to arrive on time.
Oh yes.
Um, just because, like I said, just being out of respect for people's times and things of that nature. And like I said, just because your family operates in a certain shape, fashion, and form does not necessarily mean that the next individual or individuals are going to operate in the manner such as that. And so, like I said, just stand on time. If for whatever reason you're running behind, making sure that you're staying in contact with the host, giving them an ETA when regards, when you will be there. Because once again, you don't want to, first impressions are big, and you may not necessarily get the opportunity to make that next impression again. So that, I would say, that's one of my tips as far as the holiday season is concerned. What about you, cuz?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I would also say, try to figure out if you need to bring something
Yeah,
because because like sometimes people like will come to your place and not offer to bring anything, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like especially like if it's a potluck type situation, whether or not it's at your job or if it's with friends or with family or whatever. Like if they tell you to bring something,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's some drinks or something. I mean, like, bring something. Don't just come empty handed. Especially if you're not going to bring that. Don't be trying to take all these plates of food back home.
Most
Like, that
definitely.
bothers me.
Yeah,
Like, that's going back to being respectful.
yeah.
So I would say that.
Most definitely, cuz. Most definitely. Another tip, as far as etiquette is concerned, I know we have to understand from a financial stance, Everybody's pocketbook and or wallet is different. So, especially when we're doing these gift giving activities, sometimes they come, don't spend more than $30. I've been working at companies where, don't spend more than 75, 100, and so on and so forth. My thing is, if you know that you don't necessarily have, uh, excuse me, the funds, don't feel guilty. But also don't try to live like the Joneses to impress people. Because like I said, this is like the song said, this is the most wonderful time of the year, but you also understand too that you have a life to live. There's bills that are still coming, each and every day or every other day or every other week, based upon your situation. And so you don't want to max out credit cards, stow cards, whatever, like I said, whatever finances that you have, and trying to impress people. Spend within your means when it comes to gifts. To me, most definitely put some thought behind the gift based on the person. Some people love gift cards.
Mhm.
That's the best thing you can purchase from them. But my thing is, go, if you don't necessarily want to go to the person, especially if you're doing a secret type of Santa activity, you don't want the person to know who you are. Reach out to people who do know them, to get some insight into what it is that he or she may like. Don't necessarily just be buying gifts because you think that they may
Yeah.
like it. You
Yeah.
really need to get to know the person that you're getting the gift for.
Yeah. Or I was gonna say, just kind of picking back off of what you said about if you don't necessarily know the person that well and you don't necessarily want to ask them. I know like at one of my jobs before, we would create like a list, like of things that
Yes.
we wanted. I think it was like maybe at least 5 things that
Yeah.
we wanted. And then that's like whoever got our names or whatever, that's what they knew. Because at least you knew you'd be getting something
Right.
from the list that you
Right.
wanted. So I would recommend that,
Yeah.
just kind of suggesting to do that.
Most definitely. Most
Yeah.
definitely. I
Yeah.
would say when it comes to travel plans, make sure that you plan early.
Hmm.
As we all knew, if you all, watch the news throughout the Thanksgiving seasons, they, were talking about, just how crowded the airports were. Some flights ended up having to be canceled, people having to spend the night in airports. Hotels are completely booked out and things of that nature. So don't get caught slipping at the last minute. Make sure that you give yourself enough time to plan out well in advance when it comes to your lodging, your meals. If you and your family are going to be participating in any type of activities and things of that nature. And so you don't get caught up at the last minute and it puts you in a predicament where you may not be able to travel to that location, period, or you still may be able to go, but because you waited to the last minute, now some things that you want to do, those activities, those opportunities may not necessarily be available to you.
Hmm. Hmm. And I might be jumping the gun a little bit, so it might be going into another topic. But I think it kind of relates here. Just dealing with like toxic families. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I want to talk a little bit about that because I had came across a post on Instagram, I believe it was. And basically, the post was talking about, not feeling guilty about not wanting to go home. Like, if you don't want to go home because you know that you have a toxic family where, they being abusive, whether it's verbally or emotionally or whatever, not feeling pressured into going home. And
Yes.
I completely stand by that. And maybe that could be the therapist in me, but I don't feel that just because that might be, because we were talking about traditions earlier, just because that might be a tradition to go home every year, because that might be the only time of year where y'all all may get together. I feel like if you know that this is not a good place for you to be because it's gonna like really harm your mental health, then don't
Yes.
go. Like, you can choose to either create your own tradition doing something
Right.
else, or you can choose not to go home. Maybe you want to spend time with your friends instead. Maybe you want to spend time with coworkers. Maybe you want to be just by yourself for Christmas or holiday, whatever holiday you celebrate. I mean, that's completely fine. You know what I'm saying? Because, and what I mean by toxic, I mean, when you got like those family members who, they act up. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Where they be inebriated all the time. You know what I'm saying? Or if you single, they constantly asking you, well, when you gonna get a man or when you gonna get a woman and stuff like that, where technically that's really none of your business, one. And then two, I mean, like, you're supposed to be celebrating me, wanting to see me. You know what I'm saying? Why are you worried about that? Because I don't know, maybe you do mean it in good intentions, but I mean, especially if that's a sore subject for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no need to really bring that up. So I just think that that's just important.
You're right, cuz I totally agree. Totally agree. And another, I guess, take on that is as we begin to grow and mature, um, there's nothing wrong with like you stated, with breaking tradition, even if things are great with your family. You may decide one year, um, and I'll use myself for example. And I've been talking about this years with my immediate family, my mom and my dad and my brother and his kids and my sister and her kids. Like I have this vision, like I want us to experience a winter white Christmas. Rent a log cabin. It's we're in the mountains. It's snowing. I want to be outside making snow angels. I want to be building snowmen with my nieces and nephews and having a snowball fight
Mm-hmm.
and all that kind of thing. And I don't necessarily see anything wrong with it. I know people who have broken away from family, gone on cruises, they're traveling around the world during this time of year. And I don't absolutely see anything wrong with that. And so if you decide to just even change things up for the holiday season, either your family gonna get on board or they're not. And once again, it's your life. It's a okay. Christmas is what you make it. And if you don't have a lot of money to do things, take trips and things of that nature, there is plenty of people within your community that you can give back to. There's soup kitchens that are always looking for volunteers when it comes to, prepping meals, passing out gifts to the community. You can donate uh, during this time of year. What better time to give back to those who may be less fortunate than you? So there are so many things that you can do during this holiday season that may necessarily not have anything to do with any type of traditions you and your family have built, but at the same time they add value to you. These are causes that you may feel passionate uh, about, and like I said, you just want to try something different.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. I think something that just came to my mind too, not necessarily about the toxic families, but just another tip. Know when it's time to go. Like, I mean, I can only be like, give you subtle clues and stuff like that for so long. Or how people they be standing up, after they leave the table or get off the couch where they stand up and be like,
Yeah,
start to head to the door or whatever. Like, I mean, come on. Like, I try not to be rude, you know what I'm saying? But if you
yeah.
done been here for some hours, and you see that people are starting to leave, you know what I'm saying? Like, take
It may be
heed to
time to
this.
get to pack your stuff up and
Right,
clear.
like, take heed to this.
Yeah, especially if it's at the hostess. Um,
Right.
if this person has been up, and a lot of times, especially when it comes to these cooks, they've been cooking. Good, great cooks prep days in advance.
Okay,
This
come
is not
on.
something that they've just done, Christmas Eve. And so I'm pretty sure that by Christmas Day, I mean, their bodies are wore out. Two, you
Mm-hmm.
don't know if people have to go to work every day. Not everybody is on vacation for 2 weeks like Shnequia and I. We work at colleges and universities that give us that time off, but some people have to go right back into the swing of things the next day. So, like you
Or
said,
sometimes that same day.
that same day, you're absolutely right. You're right. You're right. Especially those essential positions, hospital workers, firemen, police officers,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So, yeah, we just want to be cognizant, of people's time, people's grace, them opening up their doors. But like Shnequia said, that don't mean that you need to be there to 1, 2, and 3, and 4 in the
Right.
morning.
Well, when that happens, like what you usually do, Keisha? Like if you see that, like you ready to go, or like somebody over your house and like you feel like, you know what? I think it's time that they go. Like what you do? Like do you tell them or do you?
Well, I'm very observant. So when I see
Okay.
people that are starting to leave, that's like my cue. Like, hey,
Okay.
let me get my
Yeah.
stuff and go on and tell them, say my final goodbyes, have my little final hoorahs and laugh and that type of thing, and go on and get gone. Because if I invite you over my place, I don't mind, us standing up and cutting up. But like I said, Saints, I'm not 20 years old anymore either.
Right.
So when it's time to go, like it's time to go. And one thing about my family, especially the women in my family, especially on my mom's side of the family, they so funny. When you see them start cleaning up,
Okay, that's what I was just
that,
about to say.
that is the clue. When
That's
they
what I was
start
just about
cleaning
to
up, the
say.
sweeping, they putting plates together. Hey baby, how many plates you want? You start seeing them kitchen counters go bare. Like, yeah, you better start getting the purse, the diaper bag, whatever you brought in. Yeah, it's time to start packing up. They giving you that little silent signal, like, hey, I love you. We've had some fun, but I'm tired. It's time for y'all to get out my house.
You took the words out of my mouth because that's what I was just about to say. Like, you know that move when people start getting ready to clean, they might take that broom out or
Yeah,
whatever, or like you said, start wiping down there
yeah,
on countertop and that stove, put them plates together, like
yeah,
in the refrigerator. What? Yeah,
yeah.
it's time.
It is time. It is
It's time.
time.
Like that would be my move. That
Yeah.
would be like my go-to move. Or I probably would be doing something like, oh, dang, it's getting late, ain't it? Or something.
It's a
You know,
subliminal message.
right, right. I'll be like, it sure is getting late. Like what time you gotta get up in the morning? Like something like that. That's me
Yeah.
right there. I was just like, okay, take heed to this. Like it's time to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So y'all know the cues.
Know the
Okay,
cues.
just know the cues and take heed to them.
Take heed
Okay,
to them.
like because don't wear out your welcome. That's all
Yeah.
I gotta say. Please don't do that. Just
As
don't.
you have some people, you continue to, some people find that as a form of disrespect.
Right.
If you continue to do that, you may find yourself in a situation come the next event, you don't receive an invitation. And now you're in your feelings. Now you want to go and talk about, well, this person did X, Y, and Z. No, 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 no.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back around to this. You played a part in this situation. You cannot disrespect people's time. You do not know what people have going on and things like that. Especially like if they sent out like an invitation and it has like from this time to that time, there's a reason why they put that. Like I say, you may end up going over, but let that come from the hostess, not necessarily people that's being invited, to the soiree. It don't work like that.
Okay, so what if they just put until? Like they say it start from 6 to until. What is until?
Hey, that part is up to the hostess.
When
Um,
they start doing them cues.
doing the cues, or
Basically.
if it's a party, a Christmas party, usually the DJ will come on and let you know, hey, this is last dance. That's the cue for a Christmas party. Hey y'all, this is the last, little line dance that we gonna do, and blah 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 blah. So they letting you know already. Hey, if whatever fun that you didn't have in the time that we was here, hey, sorry, but all lights about to go out after all of this. Or lights gonna come up after all of this is said and done with. So just be observant and watchful and mindful of not only the people that you're around, but just the subtle clues in the environment that you're in as well.
For sure. For
Yeah,
sure. Is yeah.
yeah.
I know we keep saying that, but just please know the cues. I'm like, just seriously. Oh, I just thought of something.
Well,
So, what about dating during the holidays and like when should you bring significant other home to meet the family, like, or should you?
That's a
You know
good.
what I'm saying? Like, cause that can be part of a etiquette
Yeah.
and tips. You know, when it's too soon to bring them.
Well, I can't say because once again, everybody's different.
True.
Everybody's different. I think that you and your partner need to have that discussion. Um, for me, I'm old school, so I'm not going to meet you today and then be taking you home to meet my family come Christmas Day. It does not work um, like that. Like we have to build a rapport. We have to see some seasons together because one thing that I'm really big about is when I introduce you to my family, like you and I both have had a conversation about next steps and where this is going. This is just not, my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like we're talking now long-term commitment. We're talking engagement, fiance, marriage, that sort of thing. But like I said, everybody rolls differently when it comes to that subject matter. So if you got a boo, and the two of you all feel comfortable with introducing yourselves to respective family, hey, you do your thing. Like I said, I know for me, even if I met somebody within this 2 weeks, I'm not necessarily going to feel comfortable enough to bring you around my family. And I don't necessarily know, even if he invited me around his, if I would be willing to do so in just sort of a short span of time.
Yeah, I
What
agree with
about
that.
yourself?
I agree with that, and I totally second everything that you're saying. Because like there needs to be a certain amount of time for me that we have, known each other, had a relationship with each other before I would feel comfortable with inviting you, home
Yeah,
with me, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of times people kind of move too quickly with that. You know, I don't know if it's just because of having the idea of being with someone for the holiday season, like, okay, well, like, let me go let you meet the family, or this, that, and the other. And I just kind of think, like, sometimes it might be too soon. But I
yeah,
think you will really know, like,
you
when it's
will.
right. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I definitely feel that a conversation
Yes,
definitely needs to be had ahead of
yes.
time.
Do not take people off guard. I don't. This is not the
Right.
time to be surprising. Putting blindfolds on people, and then you take the blindfolds off, and then they at your parents' house. You don't do people like that,
Yeah.
because you wouldn't necessarily want to be treated in that fashion. So definitely a conversation or some conversations, some various discussions need to lead up to you all meeting the
Right.
family, because there's some things we got to prep you for. We know our family. Let's just be
Right.
honest. Let's just be real. I just
Right.
throw you to them, not just saying that family is bad, because they're not. But like I said, we all know, this auntie over here is going to interrogate you. Like she is a member of the FBI team, and so I got to get you.
Right.
Grandma gonna be over here
Definitely.
trying to feed you and stuff you with all this good food and so on and so forth. So there's a process when it comes to um, meeting the family. And to me, too, the two of you should know, or y'all relationship, or whatever you want to term it, it should have some type of definity to it. So, like I said, it just shouldn't just be friendly.
Yeah.
Like I said, it should be somewhat serious before you all get to the parent situation. But like I said, different strokes for different folks and things like that. But I just know with
Different strokes,
me
different
and
strokes.
where I'm at in my life,
Did you hear me?
huh?
I said, did you say different strokes for different strokes?
I meant to say different strokes for different folks.
I knew what
That's
you
what,
meant.
that's what I meant to say. But I
I
know
just
that
thought it was
where I'm
funny.
at in my life and what it is that what I'm desiring in terms of long term commitment marriage. Like I said, for me, it's a process. It's not somebody that I just met and I'm feeling hot and bothered about you, or because it's the Christmas holiday, I don't want to appear alone. I don't want to be alone. So I'm just gonna
Right.
bring you along into what no, 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 no. That's
Exactly.
not how that
Exactly.
works. There's some unhealed um, situations there. So no,
Exactly.
take your time, take it. Don't get caught up in the humor. Like you said, the Hallmark movies. Like we love Hallmark, we love Lifetime, cause like you said, they all got the same plot twist. We know that, and it's cute on screen, y'all. But we know 9 out of 10 times that's not how things play out in real life. It's okay. When
Mm-hmm.
it's your time to date, when it's your time to come into connection with your husband or your wife, it will happen. But in time, like I said, there is still so much more that you can be doing, ways that you can be enjoying yourself during this holiday season so that you don't feel, like you have to put on or you have to impress family, friends, coworkers, who so forth and whoever when it comes to your relationship status.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Agreed. And plus, I think sometimes it just seems and looks weird. Like every year you bring in somebody new for home for the holidays. And I'm just like, well, what happened to so and so last year? Because I would be that person that would ask. And I'm just like, no, it's just not a good look. It,
Oh
it's just you know what I'm talking about, Keisha.
God.
You
Yeah,
know, because
yeah,
some people would do that.
yes,
It's a different person
yeah.
every year.
So like I said, that goes back to there's still some unhealed areas of your life
Right.
that you need to address, instead of, like I said, putting on and acting, because that's what you're doing. You're acting and putting on like you're okay, and you may not be, and that's okay. But go and get the help that you need. And like I said, when it's time for that man or woman to come into your life, they'll come. But until then, honey, continue living fabulousness.
Okay, live your best life on
Live your
purpose.
best life, yes.
On purpose.
On purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. We got any other tips? I think I pretty much covered all of mine.
I think I did too. Um, I would say one more tip before we get out of here.
Okay.
For those of us who enjoy partaking in a beverage or two,
A
uh,
refreshing beverage is I
a
like to call them.
refreshing beverage, whether that may be a wine, a glass of wine, wine cooler, liquor, beer, etc., etc., etc. Watch your intake. Watch your intake. You know what your body can and what you cannot handle. And so, especially if you haven't been around your loved ones in quite some time, this is not the time for you to embarrass yourself. We all know that we got at least one person, if not several people in our family who love social media. And so you don't want to see yourself the next day out here, in these Facebook, Instagram, TikTok streets, acting a fool because you could not handle your intake. So just be mindful of that. Two, we know that our communities, with regards to law enforcement, they're going to ramp up, the police force and things like that. And so you also don't want to put yourself in a situation where you could get caught driving under the influence, and
Mhm.
now that's even more problems. Things that you didn't necessarily anticipate when it came to you coming home and spending time
Mhm.
with your family. So just be mindful, be cautious, be knowledgeable. If you know you've had too many, it's time to stop. It's time to stop.
Yeah. And on another note, also, when we're talking about bringing something to the function,
Uh-huh.
like if it's a potluck or whatever, and I know y'all done heard about this before, like especially like during Thanksgiving and stuff like that. This ain't the time to be like if you're not really a cooker like that. Like
Ooh.
this really isn't the time to be trying to create something new and trying to learn how to do something. Like for the holiday function, like
Yeah.
just bring me some drinks, okay? Or like store bought pie, cake, or something like that.
Well, pay somebody to cook, whatever your dish for you. There are people that will do that. I do that all the time. Like if I put myself down to bring a dessert, I am not a baker, but I know people that can bake their behinds off, and I don't mind paying them the money so people can sit up here and be like, "Dang, Keisha, that pound cake was the bomb." Thank you.
Like
I can
you
go back
did
and
that.
yeah, and doing it, I can go back and plug who made the pound cake. That type of thing. So yes, Shnequia, I agree with you. on that. This is not the time of year for experimentation. You do that on your own dime in your own kitchen.
Right.
But not when you around family. We got to eat your food. No,
Right. Right.
no, because
But you,
you'll catch it in the pot when you got there. And by the time you leave, it'll still be in that pot.
right. But you know what I was thinking, Keisha, when you were saying about paying someone to bake, like if you're not a baker, like paying somebody to bake. But you could let them know, be like, well, yeah, I slaved over this over this cake or whatever. It took a lot to bring it up here to these steps and put it on this table and put it on this spread or whatever. Like, yeah, that was hard work right there.
Oh
Sure
gosh.
did.
I do get like a little nice little platter and set it up on that. But
It
people
took
who know,
effort.
yes, the people who know me know like she's not a baker. But like I said, I don't mind paying somebody who got the skills to do so. Cause like I said, I mean, you want a good meal. You
Right.
want, and I don't care. No, store bought desserts don't taste the same like homemade.
Wait, oh, okay, well, okay, I think it depends on where you're getting it from.
Give me an example.
Okay, like Publix. They got some really good baked goods. Like they cakes are the bomb, so are they pies. I mean, they cheesecake is good. I
These
mean,
are good. I give them that.
so
They are
I think that theirs are.
okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm still go with my home baked pound cake. But they cheesecakes are busting. I will never ever sit up here and go talk to you about that. You find great cheesecakes.
Yeah.
Um, cheesecakes, cupcakes, like you said, some of their cakes are really,
Uh-huh.
really, they are really, really good. Even their cookies, that's
Oh
another one.
yeah.
Yeah. They number one when it comes to cookies. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Publix ain't gonna steer you wrong. Yeah.
Oh,
Go
they
there.
know.
Yeah, so yeah. But I think that's all of my tips. I just had to throw that in there about the not experiment because
Honey, we
this
should have
is
started off with that one. That's a
I know, right? But no, but we ended it with it, so that means
yeah.
it's important. It's just as important. So, but no, but seriously though, but yeah. So we really do hope that you really take heed to what we talked about, in this episode in terms of just like all the tips and just kind of get some ideas on how to conduct yourselves accordingly during this time. Because, it is all about having fun, but we do want you to be safe in the process. And, we want you to really be able to, take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Not only physically, but mentally too, because this time of year can be very difficult for people. So we want to keep that in mind, especially people that have lost, someone either like earlier in the year or years prior or even like recently coming up to Christmas or holiday season or whatever. Just kind of be kind and keep that in mind. Don't give people a hard time, okay? I mean, I think that's the only way I can say it. Just don't, because you just really don't know like what people are going through, and this can be really really tough.
Yeah. And just knowing that just by being kind and showing grace and mercy to an individual, how that can change the trajectory of their day. We're still in a global pandemic, so everybody is still in some shape, form, or fashion being affected, by this virus.
Yeah.
Some parts of our country, some parts of this world, our nation are doing better than others. But at the same time, it's still here. It's not like it's just going to disappear on tomorrow. And so even just thinking about it from that stance, if you're ordering out to restaurants, be nice and gracious to your delivery drivers, even the postmen during this season. They are out and about. These workers are working late at night, making sure, trying their best to get our packages to us, before the Christmas holiday season. And so, even a thank you. It don't necessarily always have to be something tangible, but just your words in
Yeah.
itself can really, really, really touch the hearts and minds and souls of people, not only throughout this holiday season, but beyond. So just keeping that in mind, as we're going throughout our day, the reason for this season, it's more than giving gifts. It's more than us, getting together and spending time. with our loved ones and things like that. But the reason for this season, especially excuse me, for those of us who are Christians, is to celebrate, the birth of Jesus, and things like that, and everything that he exemplified during his time here on earth, and what he's continued to exemplify for our lives. So just treat people the way that you want to be treated. To
Mm-hmm.
me, that's what it just boils down to. Treat people the way that you want to be treated. Because you never ever know how one good deed will come back to you, whether it comes back twofold, threefold, so on and so forth.
I
So
agree. I
very
agree.
good, cuz
I
very good.
agree. That was kind of our insight. No, actually, it was our insightful moment. Because
Yeah,
normally we do like to end our episodes with some type of insightful moment for you all. So that was it.
yeah,
Yeah, because I definitely do second everything that you were saying, just remembering the
yeah.
reason for the season and just
The reason for the season.
and keeping that in mind, and whatever holiday that
Yes.
you celebrate or whatever, just keep in mind that this is a time for just being kind to people, and really being there for others, and just showing
Yeah,
love and compassion.
yeah,
So yeah. So, like we told you at the beginning of the episode, please make sure that you like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Our handle is Insight Convo WSL. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. We're on YouTube as Insightful Conversations with SNL. So feel free to leave us comments. If there was something from this episode that really resonated with you and you want to let us know, feel free to leave us a comment and say that. Or you can hit us up on our DMs, Facebook and Instagram as well. Like I said, the handle at Insight Combo WSL. Or for those people that like to email, you can email us at insightfulconversations37@gmail.com. So either way, we love to hear from you. Okay.
yeah.
So you have anything else in closing?
Nothing else. Well, one more thing in closing. I think we talked about it kind of briefly.
Oh, we did.
Um, but just wanting to also to send our condolences to the victims of the tornadoes um,
Yes.
in those 6 states that were hit recently um, by those tornadoes. Some of the states that were affected include Arkansas, Illinois, Kentucky, Missouri, Mississippi, as well as Tennessee. I think the latest headline that I read was as of present, there's more than 80, that have been pronounced dead. And so, just like Shnequia and I said, early, for some of us, this is a very joyous time of the year. And for some people, they are facing some things that they probably never imagined.
Mm-hmm.
So be kind, lift up a prayer. If you can um, give. And like I said, it does not always have to be tangible. I cannot reiterate that enough. Sometimes giving is just giving of your time, you listening, you stepping in and helping an elderly person with a task and etc. And so, like I said, we want those families to know, along, like I said, when we talked about Nick Cannon earlier, that they are definitely in our prayers um, during this time of bereavement for them and their families.
Mm-hmm. Very well said. So, as we sign off, we just really want to wish you all a very safe and happy holiday season.
Yes.
Merry Christmas, Happy
Merry
Kwanzaa.
Christmas.
I believe Hanukkah has already passed, but
Yes.
for the people, if anybody that's following us that celebrate Hanukkah, we hope that you had a great
Yes.
holiday season with that as well, and just Happy New Year, because that's gonna be coming up soon.
It is. It is.
So
Good.
yeah, so we just hope that that y'all have just really, really, really happy holiday season. And we look forward to seeing y'all again very, very soon, because we will be back on the airways pretty soon. So just be kind of looking out for that. So that's why we telling you to like and follow all of our social media pages and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you'll know exactly when we're gonna be coming back. All right. Very good. Very good. Okay. So if there's nothing else, we can go ahead and we can close this episode. And again, y'all have a very good holiday season, and we'll talk to y'all very soon. All right.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
y'all. Bye. Peace out.